The year is 2025. America, the land of opportunity, the beacon of freedom, plunges into an abyss of darkness, a darkness unlike any other, a silence so profound it screams. The heartbeat of a nation, once vibrant and strong, stutters and falls silent. This is not a blackout, this is an attack. Across the nation, the familiar hum of electricity ceases, the reassuring glow of televisions, computers and smartphones, the lifeblood of modern communication blinks out, leaving behind an unsettling void. The city that never sleeps, sleeps. Streets once pulsating with life are frozen in an eerie tableau of stalled cars and bewildered pedestrians. The fabric of society, woven from the threads of technology and interconnectedness, unravels with terrifying speed. The invisible hand of fear reaches into every home, every heart, as the stark reality of the situation sets in. This is the day Chicago went dark, the day America tasted vulnerability, the day the world changed forever. An electromagnetic pulse, an EMP, a silent, invisible enemy, has struck at the heart of the United States. This is not a conventional attack, not bombs and bullets, but a weapon of disruption designed to cripple a nation by targeting its technological core. The attack, swift and devastating, exposes the Achilles heel of our hyper-connected world, our utter dependence on technology. The EMP, detonated high above the Earth's surface, unleashes a surge of electromagnetic energy, an invisible tsunami that washes over the continent, leaving chaos in its wake. Power grids collapse, plunging cities and towns into darkness. Communication networks crumble, severing the lifeline of information. Transportation systems grind to a halt, stranding millions. The attack is not just an assault on infrastructure, it is an attack on the very essence of modern life, a stark reminder of our vulnerability in an increasingly interconnected world. The pulse, in its silent fury, has exposed the fragility of our technological dependence, leaving a nation grappling with the enormity of the crisis. The transition is jarring, from the comforting hum of electricity to an unsettling silence. The familiar glow of a million screens fades to black, leaving behind a void filled with uncertainty and fear. The world as we knew it, a world defined by instant communication and technological marvels, ceases to exist. The rhythm of daily life, once dictated by the clock and the endless stream of information, is disrupted. The conveniences we take for granted, the invisible infrastructure that underpins our modern existence, vanish in an instant. The sudden absence of electricity is not merely an inconvenience, it is a descent into a darkness that reaches beyond the physical, a darkness that threatens to consume our sense of order, our sense of security, our very way of life. The day Chicago went dark is a chilling reminder of our vulnerability, a wake-up call to a world on the brink. It is a story of survival, of resilience, of the human spirit's ability to adapt and overcome in the face of unimaginable adversity. The year is 2025, but the seeds of this conflict were sown long ago. The geopolitical landscape, once dominated by the reassuring predictability of the Cold War, has become fractured and volatile. The old alliances, the institutions that once held the world together, are crumbling under the weight of resurgent nationalism and simmering resentments. The United States, once the guarantor of global security, has turned inward, consumed by internal divisions and a waning appetite for international engagement. The decision to withdraw from NATO, a cornerstone of Western defense for decades, has sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving allies questioning America's commitment and adversaries sensing an opportunity. The withdrawal from NATO is not merely a military calculation, it is a symptom of a deeper malaise, a retreat from the very idea of a rules-based international order. In its place, a dangerous vacuum has emerged, one in which power, not principle, dictates the course of events. Section 2, Seeds of Discord, the Rise of Nationalism. The rise of nationalism, a potent cocktail of economic anxiety, cultural resentment and political opportunism, has fueled a wave of instability across the globe. The old certainties, the shared values that once bound nations together, have given way to a more fractious and unpredictable world. In Russia, a resurgent sense of national pride, fueled by a carefully curated narrative of historical grievance and Western betrayal, has emboldened the Kremlin to assert its dominance in its near abroad. The annexation of Crimea, a stark demonstration of Russia's willingness to use force to achieve its objectives, was a harbinger of things to come. The invasion of Ukraine, a sovereign nation on Russia's doorstep, is a dangerous escalation, a calculated gamble designed to test the resolve of the West and redraw the map of Europe. Section 3, Cyber Warfare, the Invisible Battlefield. As tensions escalate, the battle lines are drawn not just on land and sea, but also in the ethereal realm of cyberspace. Cyber warfare, once the stuff of science fiction, has become a chilling reality, a shadowy domain, where nations wage war with bits and bytes, not bullets and bombs. Russia, a master of information warfare, has honed its cyber capabilities, deploying sophisticated malware and disinformation campaigns to sow chaos and undermine its adversaries. The cyber attacks on the United States, a taste of things to come, are a stark demonstration of Russia's ability to strike at the heart of its enemy's infrastructure. The attacks target not just military installations, but also civilian infrastructure, crippling power grids, disrupting financial markets, and sowing fear and confusion among the population. The goal is not just to degrade military capabilities, but also to erode public trust, sow discord, and undermine the very fabric of society. Section 1. The day the lights went out. The initial moments of the attack are deceptively serene. It's a crisp autumn evening in Chicago. The sky blazes with the fiery hues of sunset, casting long shadows across the bustling cityscape. Commuters crowd the sidewalks, eager to return home after a long day. Families gather for dinner, sharing stories and laughter. Life, in all its messy, chaotic beauty, unfolds as it always has. And then, in a heartbeat, it's gone. The lights, the lifeblood of the modern metropolis, blink out, plunging the city into an unexpected and unsettling darkness. A collective gasp ripples through the streets as the familiar hum of electricity gives way to an eerie silence. Confusion reigns. People stop in their tracks, staring up at the darkened buildings, their faces a mixture of bewilderment and apprehension. Traffic lights go dark, plunging intersections into chaos. Car horns blare in a cacophony of frustration and fear. Inside homes and apartments, families gather around darkened televisions and computers, their faces illuminated by the flickering glow of cell phone screens. The internet, the lifeline of modern communication, is down. Phone lines are jammed. The outside world, once a click away, is now an impenetrable void. Section 2. Digital darkness, the fall of the grid. The electromagnetic pulse radiating outward from its detonation point high above the Midwest strikes with the speed of light. It's an invisible enemy, silent and swift, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. The power grid, the backbone of modern society, collapses under the strain of the EMP's surge. Transformers explode in showers of sparks. Transmission lines sag and snap. The digital world, once a constant presence, flickers and dies. Computers crash, their screens going blank. Servers overload and shut down, taking websites and online services offline. Data, the lifeblood of the information age, is lost in the blink of an eye. The attack is not just an assault on infrastructure, it's an attack on the very fabric of modern life. The conveniences we take for granted, instant communication, online banking, GPS navigation, vanish in an instant, leaving behind a void filled with uncertainty and fear. Section 3. The immediate aftermath, shock and disbelief. The initial hours after the attack are a blur of confusion and disbelief. People wander the streets, their faces etched with a mixture of shock and fear. The air crackles with tension, the silence punctuated by the wail of sirens and the rumble of helicopters overhead. The magnitude of the disaster is slow to sink in. People cling to the hope that this is a temporary outage, that the lights will soon flicker back on, that life will return to normal. But as minutes turn into hours and hours into days, the grim reality sets in. The city, once a symbol of human ingenuity and progress, is now a stark reminder of our vulnerability. The buildings, stripped of their lights, loom over the darkened streets like silent giants, their windows reflecting the chaos below. Section 4. The fog of war, misinformation and panic. In the absence of reliable information, rumors spread like wildfire. Social media, once a source of news and entertainment, becomes a breeding ground for misinformation and fear-mongering. Conspiracy theories abound, fueled by the uncertainty and fear that grip the nation. Panic buying sets in, stripping supermarket shelves bare. Lines snake around gas stations as drivers wait for hours to fill their tanks. The social order, already frayed by years of political division and economic inequality, begins to unravel. The government, struggling to regain control of the situation, issues conflicting reports and contradictory advice. Trust in institutions, already at an all-time low, plummets further. The social contract, the unwritten agreement that binds us together as a society, begins to crumble. In the chaos and confusion, one thing becomes clear: the world as we knew it is gone. The old rules no longer apply. Survival is now the only imperative. Adapting to the new reality, the survival instinct kicks in. The initial shock and disbelief gradually give way to a steely determination to survive. The human spirit, though shaken, is not broken. In the face of adversity, the instinct to adapt, to overcome, kicks in. People begin to take stock of their situation, assess their resources, and make plans for the uncertain future. The comforts and conveniences of modern life may be gone, but the essential human qualities, ingenuity, resilience, and the will to live, endure. Neighbors help neighbors. Strangers share what little food and water they have. The bonds of community, often overlooked in the hustle and bustle of daily life, are reforged in the crucible of crisis. The city, once a place of anonymity, transforms into a network of interconnected communities, each reliant on the other for support and survival. The old divisions, rich and poor, black and white, urban and suburban, fade in the face of a common threat. The EMP attack, in its own terrible way, has forced a reset, a stripping away of the superficial to reveal the raw essence of humanity. Urban exodus, when the city becomes a cage. As days turn into weeks and the reality of the situation sets in, a mass exodus from the cities begins. With no electricity, no running water, and dwindling supplies, the urban centres, once beacons of opportunity and excitement, have become stifling traps. Families pack what few belongings they can carry and set out for the countryside, seeking refuge with relatives or simply hoping to find a place where they can scratch out a living from the land. Highways are clogged with cars, trucks, and even horse-drawn wagons, all heading in the same direction, away from the dying cities. The journey is fraught with danger. Gasoline is scarce, and breakdowns are common. Food and water are even harder to come by, and those who are not prepared to fend for themselves soon find themselves at the mercy of others. The urban exodus is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, but it is also a stark reminder of the fragility of our modern way of life. When the grid goes down, so too does the illusion of security and comfort that we have built for ourselves. The importance of community strength in numbers. In the aftermath of the EMP attack, the importance of community becomes abundantly clear. Those who have strong social networks, families, friends, neighbors, are far more likely to survive than those who try to go it alone. Community provides more than just material support. It also offers a sense of belonging, purpose, and hope. In times of crisis, when the world seems to be falling apart, these intangible benefits can be just as important as food and shelter. Communities come together to share resources, rebuild infrastructure, and provide for the common defense. Skills that were once taken for granted, farming, carpentry, first aid, are suddenly in high demand. The EMP attack, in its own terrible way, has forced people to rediscover the importance of cooperation and interdependence. In the absence of government assistance, community becomes the primary unit of survival. Section 4. The Analog Advantage, Rediscovering Lost Skills. The EMP attack has exposed the Achilles heel of our technologically dependent society. With the digital world gone dark, those who have relied on smartphones, GPS devices, and online banking find themselves at a distinct disadvantage. But the attack has also created an opportunity for those who have never forgotten the old ways, the analog skills that sustained humanity for centuries before the digital revolution. People who can read a map, build a fire, grow their own food, and fix a broken engine suddenly find themselves in high demand. Libraries, once repositories of forgotten knowledge, become vital sources of information. People flock to their shelves, seeking books on gardening, first aid, home repair, and other essential skills. The EMP attack, in its own terrible way, has forced us to confront our dependence on technology and rediscover the value of self-reliance and practical skills. Section 1. The Long Road Back, Rebuilding from the Rubble. The EMP attack was a hammer blow to the very soul of America, yet even in the face of unimaginable devastation, the spirit of this nation, forged in the fires of countless trials, refused to be extinguished. The road to recovery was long and arduous, a testament to the tenacity of the human spirit. The immediate threat to survival may have receded, but the challenges of rebuilding a shattered infrastructure were daunting. The power grid, once a symbol of the nation's technological prowess, lay in ruins. Communication networks, the nervous system of the modern world, remained fractured. The intricate web of supply chains that had sustained a nation of consumers had been irrevocably disrupted. The rebuilding effort was not a centralized, top-down affair, with the federal government struggling to regain its footing. It was up to ordinary citizens to take charge, to rebuild their communities from the ground up. Local leaders emerged, men and women of action and compassion, who rallied their neighbors to clear debris, establish food distribution networks, and provide basic medical care. The rebuilding process was about more than just bricks and mortar, cables and circuits. It was about rebuilding trust, restoring faith in the institutions that had failed them, and rediscovering the bonds of community that had been frayed by years of division and discord. Echoes of the past, a return to simpler times. The EMP attack had thrust America back into an analog age, a time before smartphones and social media, before instant gratification and the relentless pursuit of technological advancement. In the absence of the digital distractions that had come to define modern life, people were forced to confront their own humanity, to rediscover the simple joys of face-to-face interaction, shared meals and storytelling around a crackling fire. There was a certain nostalgia for those simpler times, a romanticized view of a bygone era when life seemed less complicated, more connected to the rhythms of nature. Farmers' markets flourished, their stalls laden with fresh produce grown in backyard gardens and community plots. Local craftspeople saw a resurgence in demand for their handmade goods, their skills honed over years of patient practice. Yet this return to a more self-sufficient, localized way of life was not without its challenges. The conveniences of the modern world were sorely missed. Medical care, once readily available, was now a luxury. Education, once a given, was now a patchwork of homeschooling and informal apprenticeships. The EMP attack had exposed the fragility of the modern world, but it had also revealed the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of community. The digital divide, a new generation gap, emerges. As America slowly began to rebuild, a new societal divide emerged, one that cut across traditional lines of race, class and geography. It was a divide between those who had come of age in the digital era, who had never known a world without the internet, and those who remembered a time before smartphones and social media, before the digital revolution had transformed every aspect of human existence. For the younger generation, the loss of the digital world was akin to losing a limb. They had grown up with instant access to information, with the ability to connect with anyone, anywhere, at any time. Now, they were thrust into a world where communication was limited, where knowledge was precious, and where entertainment meant gathering around a radio or sharing stories under the stars. The older generation, on the other hand, while not immune to the challenges of the post-EMP world, possessed a certain resilience, a resourcefulness born of having lived through previous times of hardship. They remembered a time when people relied on their neighbors, when skills were passed down through generations, and when life, though often difficult, was also imbued with a certain simplicity and sense of community. The EMP attack had created a unique opportunity for intergenerational learning, a chance for the younger generation to tap into the wisdom and experience of their elders, and for the older generation to pass on the skills and values that had sustained them through previous crises. The fragile fabric of our modern world. The simulated EMP attack on Chicago, though a fictional exercise, serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of our modern world. Our interconnectedness, our reliance on technology, while a testament to human ingenuity, has also become our Achilles heel. A single, well-placed pulse and the intricate web of communication, transportation and energy that underpins our daily lives can unravel with terrifying speed. The attack on Chicago was not merely a disruption of services, a temporary inconvenience to be endured until the lights flickered back on. It was a stark demonstration of our vulnerability, a wake-up call to a world sleepwalking towards a precipice. The attack laid bare the fragility of our institutions, the speed with which social order can break down, and the immense challenges of rebuilding a society that has become utterly dependent on technology. The simulation, while fictional, holds within it a kernel of truth. It is a warning, a call to action, a reminder that the future is not preordained, that the choices we make today will determine the world we bequeath to future generations. The indomitable human spirit. Yet amidst the devastation and despair, a glimmer of hope emerges. The EMP attack on Chicago, though a catastrophe of unprecedented scale, also revealed the indomitable spirit of humanity. In the face of unimaginable adversity, ordinary people rose to the challenge, drawing on reserves of strength and resilience they never knew they possessed. Neighbors helped neighbors. Strangers shared what little food and water they had. Communities, once fragmented by social and economic divisions, came together to rebuild their shattered lives. The attack forced people to confront their own mortality, to re-evaluate their priorities, and to rediscover the importance of human connection in a world stripped bare of its technological distractions. The EMP attack on Chicago was a story of loss, of hardship, of the fragility of the modern world. But it was also a story of hope, of resilience, of the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit to adapt, to overcome and to rebuild. It is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the flame of hope once kindled can never be truly extinguished.